Audiobook. Elon Musk, Rules of Success. The text is read by Harry W. Summer. Introduction. Some call him the charlatan of the century, others call him a brilliant inventor. Elon Musk, who became a millionaire at the age of 27, is a controversial figure. But everyone will agree that the American entrepreneur has had an incredible journey of business success, creating billion-dollar companies. What distinguishes him from other rich people on the planet are his ambitious ideas and incredible plans in the field of space research, the spread of alternative forms of energy and transport, and even the creation of artificial intelligence. Who is he, a genius or the last romantic on Earth? In this book, we share the business story of a charismatic physicist, engineer, programmer, innovator, and inventor. Remembering all the bright startups of Elon Musk, we will find the most important secrets of the success of the eccentric multi-billionaire. Chapter 1. Dreamer or Genius. From Programmer to Investor. 21st century innovator, successful businessman, and billionaire Elon Musk is from Pretoria, South Africa. He was born on June 28, 1971, in the family of engineer Elon Musk and model, part-time nutritionist, May Musk. They had 3 children, the youngest daughter Tosca, the middle son Kimball, and the eldest Elon. When he was 9 years old, his parents divorced, and Elon soon moved to live with his father. Elon Musk largely influenced the future professional preferences of his son. He designed not only residential buildings and centers but also military bases. If Elon's father was a completely ordinary engineer and not an inventor, then his grandfather was an amazing adventurer. In the middle of the 20th century, Musk Sr. left Canada and came to South Africa. In his luggage, he had an entire helicopter, disassembled into small parts. Arriving in his new homeland, he reassembled it and flew around the world until the end of his life. Elona's grandfather died at the helm at the age of 77. Close to himself and a little strange, the boy Elon was not a favorite among his classmates, but rather the opposite. He learned to read very early and was constantly immersed in books. At the same time, the Musk family, father and son, lived much better than most South Africans. Elon's peers did not like him and mocked him in every possible way. Unfortunately, they were not limited to insults. One day, Elon had to be taken to the hospital after the boys beat him until he lost consciousness. It is surprising that Elon did not become angry with people after such a difficult childhood, but even devoted his entire life to the development of humanity. Elon Musk is a man passionate about science. When the future successful billionaire was 12 years old, he, like many teenagers, began to worry about the meaning of life. And then Elon turned to reading books. Of course, among the genres he came across was science fiction. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams became practically a reference book for young Musk. Embracing the universe and trying to understand how everything works in it, this is what the billionaire still strives for. He once seriously thought about becoming a scientific physicist because it is physics, according to Elon, that deals with the fundamental issues of the world. Why didn't Musk follow the path of academic degrees and university everyday life? I was afraid that all my ideas would fail. Look how many great inventors give up because of bureaucratic difficulties, says Elon. He believes that the main thing is to be able to use your consciousness, which should strive for a greater understanding of the universe. This will allow you to ask more and more questions. After all, the universe stores all the answers, and the main thing, according to Musk, is to learn to ask the right questions. When asked why Musk went into business, the entrepreneur replies, "I was afraid to work for someone. I understood that I needed to understand the economy myself and not start with someone who would manage me." But as an economics student, Musk felt out of place and tried in every possible way to join the companies that were much closer to him, physicists, artists, and other creative guys from the departments of arts and sciences. During his school years, Elon Musk was, as they say, a real nerd, a geek. Played Dungeons and Dragons or D&D, a popular role-playing game from the 70s and 80s, entered tournaments, and dressed up as characters. Elon grew up in South Africa, and it was very difficult to find friends with similar interests. To organize a couple of teams for D&D tournaments, many guys had to be persuaded. What can we say about the fact that no one among his peers was interested in programming at all? A botanist and fan of computer games, Elon loved construction. He even made rockets. There were no such toys in South Africa, so the young inventor had to study the composition of the fuel himself, find its components, and, mixing them at his own risk, launch a homemade rocket. Elon Musk also recalled in one of his interviews how he once assembled a radio, but the girls still didn't pay attention to him. Maybe it's because of the drawstring pants, Musk laughs. Young Musk got his first computer, a Commodore VIC-20, at the age of 9. 3 years later, the boy created his first shooter game Blaster, which he was able to sell for $500. By the way, you can still play it. It can easily be found on the internet under the name Blaster in 1984. However, he did not spend the proceeds on entertainment and other games, but invested them in shares of a pharmaceutical company, which after some time he sold for several times more. It was this, as well as his amazing success in programming and mathematics, that allowed him to leave South Africa. Elon's father often took him on trips around the world, so the young man saw many countries from an early age and had no doubt about the choice of his future path. Amazing Silicon Valley, Apple, and Microsoft attracted the prodigy. But it was not possible to get to America right away. First, Elon went to visit his mother's relatives in Canada. There, in Montreal in 1989, he was able to obtain citizenship and a job, which, however, brought virtually no income. Elon tried to save as much as he could, but working at a sawmill for $15 an hour did not last long. Musk's natural charm brought him many useful contacts. The scenario of the American dream unfolded in Musk's life. As a result, a subsequent internship at the country's third-largest bank turned out to be a good springboard for the young entrepreneur. At this time, Elon's mother, May Musk, returned to Canada with 2 other children. She got a job at the University of Toronto so that her children could study for free, conducted cycling courses and master classes on healthy eating, and worked as a nutritionist. By the way, now the relationship between Elon and his mother is very warm, although, as you know, he spent his entire childhood with his father. So, in the early 90s, what Elon was striving for gradually turned into reality. In 1990, he entered the best university in Kingston, Queens, and 2 years later he was able to transfer to the University of Pennsylvania. So Elon received a bachelor's degree in 2 specialties, physics and economics. Then, in the 1990s, as a student, Elon Musk began working on ionizers and ultracapacitors, which could become energy carriers for future electric vehicles. Musk intended to defend his PhD thesis at Stanford University on this issue. But in the 1990s, like many ambitious young people, he was caught up in the internet wave. .coms, internet companies, it was impossible to ignore the fastest-growing niche for business. It was then that Elon Musk moved to California and approached his millions. But first, Elon had to continue his internship. Full of enthusiasm, Musk enjoyed participating in Silicon Valley startups. The direction of the first, Pinnacle, echoed the topic of a forgotten dissertation on the capabilities of ultracapacitors. The second group of scientists, which Musk joined, developed video games for CDs. Back then, this was an incredibly innovative direction, because before that, games were only released on cartridges and floppy disks. Musk was involved in programming drivers for computer mice and joysticks. In 1995, Kimball Musk picked up the idea of his older brother Elon and, in partnership with him, opened the company Zip2, which developed programs for posting news content on sites, as well as supporting such sites. It only took a few years to develop the startup, and already in 1999, the brothers' business was sold for more than $300 million. The buyer was AltaVista, an internet search engine company. Elon Musk purchased a McLaren F1 sports car and a Dassault Falcon 900 aircraft, designed for 12 passengers. Oddly enough, it was after such wasteful purchases that Elon Musk realized what he wanted. After some thought, the millionaire decided that it was worth plunging into the field of space exploration and automobile manufacturing, the fuel for which would be electrical energy. In 1999, Elon Musk launched the X.com project and later merged with the competing company Confinity. The millennium arrived and the organization was renamed PayPal. This is the same payment system that is now known to everyone. As usually happens, two companies that merged into one did not immediately get used to each other, so to speak. There were disagreements and misunderstandings between the two teams, but this did not in any way affect the development of the common cause and the increase in profits through a competent innovation policy. For example, a very progressive and correct move on the part of the company was the development of an antivirus system within the payment system. In 2002, such a successful project that meets modern requirements was purchased for $1.5 billion. Now Elon Musk could afford to do what he was interested in, conquering outer space and promoting new types of fuel. At that time, he was in the black by $180 million. The world through the eyes of Elon Musk. Elon Musk is an ardent supporter of technology development. He does not share the point of view of those who seek to return to the origins of humanity, to reunite with nature, approach the life of the gods that our ancestors imagined. Musk defends the idea of further development of a person capable of realizing the scale of the universe. Yes, Musk is an extraordinary person. By attracting the interest of millions of people, the American entrepreneur becomes even more successful and richer. The popularity of the ambitious Musk increased significantly as soon as he announced the need to populate Mars with people. The businessman is confident that by the beginning of the 22nd century, 1 million people from Earth will be able to live on another planet, a number that will ensure genetic diversity and growth of the human population in the future. Partial relocation to the Red Planet, according to Musk, will become a lifeline for humanity as a whole if a disaster occurs on our planet. But much more important is the preservation of civilization, the search for new horizons, the exploration of outer space, and man's desire for the stars. The head of SpaceX himself said that he would like to visit Mars, but even if the first manned flight to the Red Planet takes place during his lifetime, he will not participate in it. The ideological inspirer of the resettlement of people to Mars will have to stay on Earth because all activities are tied to him. What about other planets? Musk does not make such long-term plans. Moreover, it is unlikely that he will be able to catch any other space travel. But the businessman has already proposed some of his ideas for future generations. After settling on Mars, it is worth exploring the satellites of Saturn and Jupiter, and only then striving for new star systems. Musk does not agree with those scientists who question spaceflight due to its high cost. It may not be worth spending a lot of money on flights to low Earth orbit, says Elon Musk, but manned flights are a step towards the development of our species. The entrepreneur dreams of space travel becoming an everyday reality for every person. Elon Musk may seem crazy to many with his judgments. For example, he once shared his guesses about a simulation of our world. Perhaps Earth's humanity is just a testing ground for a much more advanced civilization. The idea that we are all test subjects on the planet may seem ridiculous. But the possibility that there are or have been countless other creatures in the universe on different planets is not only expressed by Elon Musk. The entrepreneur is seriously concerned about the lack of signals from other civilizations. Why hasn't there been contact with alien life forms yet, Musk wonders. Even with the slowest development of any civilization, there should have been enough time for progress to develop to such a level that we could see traces of the spread of life in the galaxies. In the near future, thanks to the development of technology, people will be able to find traces of pollution and metal mining in the atmospheres of other planets, Elon Musk hopes. Larry Page, founder of Google, and Elon Musk are very close friends. At the same time, they can be called competitors. Although both strive to change the world for the better, their paths diverge somewhat. Musk dreams of conquering space and maintaining the ecology of our planet. And Page works for tech companies and welcomes the idea of creating artificial intelligence. Musk has long been negative about such plans because in his opinion it is dangerous and could threaten humanity. However, in 2015, Elon Musk and his friend Sam Altman founded OpenAI, a non-profit company, to create artificial intelligence that would bring positivity and goodness to our world, and avoid the so-called evil artificial intelligence that American entrepreneurs are so afraid of. Enthusiast Elon Musk is incredibly concerned that the future of humanity must be decided right now, and the main challenges facing the inhabitants of our planet include problems of genetics, the creation of artificial intelligence, and the development of a high-speed interface associated with the human brain. Elon Musk believes that modern man is a superman who has already learned to expand his personality through information technology. This is how we actively use phones, computers, and other gadgets. Each of us practically has a digital form of our own personality. Musk does not want to stop with his seemingly unrealistic ideas and is confident that people can become even better if they can somehow process all digital information in their brains. With the support of the co-founders of OpenAI, he believes that this is possible if we combine the familiar scheme of interaction between the brain, the computer, and the open democratic artificial intelligence that Musk and Altman are so passionate about developing. They are confident that connecting the human brain to artificial intelligence will improve and make the connection between people and digital personalities more effective. Why is this necessary? If each of us can get such an interface, then we will no longer need to be afraid of the appearance of some evil dictatorial intelligence, because we will be a real collective intelligence, Elon Musk shared in an interview. I think this is the best solution for the future of the planet. Millions of dollars from the head of SpaceX were sent to various universities around the world, to more than 30 research groups involved in the creation of artificial intelligence. For example, a group of scientists from the University of North Carolina is working on a system that can act according to human morality. And Berkeley University employees are creating algorithms that are similar to the behavior of a person acting according to his preferences. Elon Musk supports the opinion of Stephen Hawking, who believes that the creation of artificial intelligence is the main scientific breakthrough of mankind. The main task when creating it is to avoid risks, otherwise, such a mind may take the initiative, and we will no longer be able to stop its self-improvement. That is why there is an urgent need for scientific work and research that would make artificial intelligence real and, most importantly, safe. Technological progress is the main task of humanity. Musk is confident that people must engage in the development of science and technology, otherwise, we will face the extinction of civilization, as was the case, for example, with Egyptian culture. The businessman is especially upset by the fact that in the 21st century, space industry engineers are no longer building shuttles and huge rockets that could take people to the moon. Technological degradation is the worst thing that can happen to our civilization. Personal life of a billionaire. The most progressive businessman of our time could be mistaken for a misanthrope. But no, Elon Musk, for all his incredible intelligence, is incredibly human and loving. And, like other richest people on the planet, he cannot hide his personal life from annoying journalists and paparazzi. Moreover, his personality is so interesting to the public that it is simply impossible to touch on this topic. The scientist-inventor went through many difficult periods in his life. The businessman, who seems to be constantly busy only with his projects, is also a father of many children. But first things first. Elon met his first love and future wife in Canada when he was in his first year at university. However, the guy was unable to make the right impression. His passion Justine did not pay attention to him, as was the case before, and was not at all interested in the nerd Elon. Elon left for America, and their paths diverged for some time. A year later they met again, and in 2000 they got married. A couple of years later, their long-awaited son was born. But a tragedy happened. Not having lived even a year, the boy died from sudden infant death syndrome when the cause of death cannot even be determined. Doctors were unable to save Elon's son, and he fell into depression. Relations with Justine began to deteriorate, but they were able to overcome this difficult period for their family. Later Justine gave birth to 5 sons, twins Griffin and Xavier, and 3 Kai, Saxon, and Domain. However, the marriage lasted only 8 years. Elon Musk devoted too much time to his projects and too little to his children and wife. Both decided to divorce. The relationship cooled down, and there was no point in continuing to pretend to be a happy family. Elon Musk plunged headlong into a new relationship with British actress Tallulah Riley. The public gossiped that it was she who caused the breakdown of a strong marriage. However, the truth about this still remains unknown. Less than a year and a half after the wedding of Tallulah and Elon, the couple filed for divorce. The love story did not end, and they got married again in the summer of 2013, but 6 months later they divorced again. A little later, the eccentric businessman reversed his decision to divorce and got back together with Riley. After this, the couple filed for divorce in March 2016, but Riley does not rule out marrying Musk again. Musk is very interested in cinema. If he had more time, he would participate in filming more often. In 2005, he starred in a cameo role in the film No Smoking Here, where he played the role of a pilot. The plane used in the filming belonged to the businessman himself. This is a Dassault Falcon 900 model. Elon Musk is also the prototype of Tony Stark, the Iron Man from the film of the same name, where he played himself according to the script and is a friend of the main character. He also made cameo appearances in Machete Kills and The Big Bang Theory and purchased the Submarino Wet Nelly from the James Bond film. His sister is also interested in cinema and created a small film company, Mask Entertainment. Regarding Musk's religious faith, he often answered questions about his beliefs. He believes that there is probably no supreme intelligence that created everything because this leads to the question of where this supreme intelligence came from. He tends to think that everything can be explained by the fundamental laws of physics and that complex phenomena can be formed from simple elements. In addition, Musk opened a charitable foundation in his own name. As an enthusiast and philanthropist, Musk donates huge sums to help eliminate the consequences of environmental disasters and natural disasters. Naturally, he also invests considerable effort in the scientific education of children, who are the basis of the future of humanity. In April 2012, the entrepreneur joined the Giving Pledge project, promising to donate the majority of his wealth to charity. Thus, he became part of the company originally popularized by Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, along with 12 of America's richest families and individuals. Please subscribe to our channel and like this video. This way you won't miss the release of new and exciting audiobooks. Thank you. Chapter 2. The Path to Success. After the sale of PayPal, Elon Musk seriously took up the idea of creating settlements on Mars. In his opinion, the first step towards this goal should be the creation of greenhouses to form an ecosystem on the red planet. Not wanting to buy ready-made rockets, Musk decided to start creating his aircraft. This decision, according to rumors, he made after an unsuccessful business trip to Russia, where he was refused the sale of rocket technology. Elon Musk bought Tsiolkovsky's books in Moscow and decided to independently develop rockets. Having created the enterprise, Elon attracted investments from various companies and even the U.S. Department of Defense. Musk entered into a deal with NASA worth $1.5 billion. This deal involved sending 12 cargo shipments to the International Space Station. In 2009, the spacecraft, entirely privately funded, went into orbit and delivered its first cargo. Returning a spacecraft to Earth previously seemed impossible, but thanks to SpaceX's Falcon 9 project, the cost of the flight has dropped significantly. Elon Musk believes that SpaceX is his brainchild, the embodiment of dreams and noble goals for the benefit of human civilization. The rocket, developed by Elon Musk's team, consists of several stages to return to Earth, which ensures its integrity and reuse. This avoids investor fears associated with the high costs of space development and makes investments in such projects more attractive. In 2004, Musk joined Tesla Motors, the first manufacturer of mass-produced electric vehicles. He made significant improvements to car models such as the Tesla Roadster, which was optimized for weight, design, and batteries. The investment has attracted attention and recognition, including an award from Global Green. However, after 2006, Tesla Motors faced financial difficulties due to falling sales, and Musk was forced to reduce the number of employees. However, thanks to financial support from the U.S. Department of Energy and investments from Daimler, the situation in the company has stabilized. Success also came with the release of the S-Class electric car, after which more than 10,000 cars were sold. Elon Musk's projects always cause interest and surprise, and his idea to change the climate on Mars using nuclear explosions was no exception. Musk argues that such a measure will increase the surface temperature of Mars, creating a greenhouse effect and making the planet more habitable. His confidence in the success of SpaceX's Mars project is very high, and he even expressed optimism that it could continue in the event of his death. The rocket, designed to transport people to Mars, will be the largest ever created, with a diameter of 12 meters. SpaceX also plans to use methane produced on Mars to fuel these ships, which is considered a viable prospect given the possibility of using water and carbon dioxide from the planet's surface. Elon Musk warns that the first intergalactic train cannot be given a 100% guarantee of returning to Earth. According to him, people who decide to risk becoming the new Columbus and go to Mars must be prepared to stay on the red planet forever. This is a difficult decision that requires a lot of thought and risk-taking. In light of the Volkswagen scandal in September, when excess emissions of harmful substances were revealed, Elon Musk only confirmed his opinion on the need to develop the production of electric cars. He urged automakers to pay attention to this topic, especially given the limitations faced by gasoline-powered vehicles. By 2026, Tesla plans to increase the range of electric vehicles to 2,000 kilometers, which will be a significant achievement in this area. Elon Musk's next interesting project is his joint startup with SolarCity, which is engaged in the development and construction of charging stations for electric cars. These stations are economical and environmentally friendly and also bring a good income. SolarCity also specializes in installing photovoltaic systems to keep servers running, and their solar plants are in high demand. Elon Musk is also developing a new type of transport called Hyperloop, which is a transport system for high-speed air travel. This project promises to be as safe and energy efficient as possible, which is an important factor in the modern world. Therefore, such pipes will be recharged with solar energy. In January 2016, Elon Musk predicted that within the next 5 years, people could become owners of electric cars that can travel up to 4,000 kilometers without driver intervention. A wisecrack from The Simpsons for the kind of person who's interested in electric cars, and an Elon Musk that burns too much fuel can coexist. After all, humanity should think about reducing its ecological footprint, striving for space exploration, and the development of civilization, a noble goal. However, time will tell whether the innovative businessman will turn his ambitious plans into reality. Success is simple rules. Elon Musk's daily routine accounts for 70% of his working hours. At first glance, the American entrepreneur is a media personality. Constant meetings with the press and TV channels, filming, business promotion, all this takes a lot of time. This is not true. Design and engineering are what primarily excite and try to understand the technical intricacies of the Dragon apparatus. And every day he works with other engineers to improve the colonists' base, so work plays an important place in Elon Musk's daily routine. At the same time, there is no less business at the Tesla plant. However, the work is already bearing fruit. Many electric batteries are associated specifically with the optimization of robots. Musk is aiming for a speed similar to the fastest human walk, about 10 meters per second. Recently, Elon Musk has seriously thought about his health. And now he just doesn't like the taste of alcohol. During his student years, he was the one who drove drunk friends and fellow students after a party. Now Musk can drink a glass of champagne or wine, but nothing more. However, the peculiarity of Elon is to immerse himself in business to such an extent that it seems that he is a robot, all the busy calculations. Previously, the norm for a businessman in the morning was 4 or 5 huge hot drinks and several cans of Coca-Cola. Changes for your happy future. This is something you should never give up, says Elon. Musk is upset by the realization of obvious life. But anyone who wants to become special, and even more so a pioneer, needs to change their thinking as much as possible. Try not to think in patterns, as most people do. Otherwise, you risk becoming someone who repeats, day after day, the wrong life. This sounds too stupid for someone who lives as an efficient worker, a useful thinker, or a brilliant inventor. When asked what the younger generation should do now, Elon Musk always answers, the younger generation must adhere to the main principle to be useful. And he adds that it is not necessary to strive for doctoral degrees. It is enough that the activity brings benefits exclusively through career growth, a rigorous business plan, and academic degrees. Likewise, making money is not the best goal, according to Elon Musk. And striving to find the job of your dreams, which will bring pleasure and energize you for subsequent self-development, is what every modern person needs. This does not mean that a person should be fearless and desperate in his actions. An intelligent person has confidence in his actions. He realizes the importance of his place on Earth and, of course, is convinced of the correctness of his words. Elon Musk, although he is a man of science, associates this with the fact that he does not believe in success. I didn't take the matter decisively enough. So, if a person is ready right away, then so be it. What distinguishes Elon Musk as a successful businessman? Here are a few obvious positions that should be followed by anyone who wants to become an entrepreneur or simply be successful in life without waiting for some kind of magic or lucky break. Don't wait for the weather by the sea. Don't expect an inheritance or random money. Elon Musk used and invested his own earned money into new company projects. Even as a little boy and having received your first dollars, you must have an extremely prudent attitude towards them. Think about it. Is this interesting to other people? What are you planning to do or are already doing? Musk has certainly reached the maximum level in setting his goals. For smaller people, it is enough to consider whether their business is identical and how they can benefit from it by working with it and for it, that is, every chance of a successful business. Efficiency. First of all, this is long, painstaking, and persistent work. Secondly, it is the ability to overcome fears of failure. Remember how Elon Musk's first rocket launch failed. And the second one. And the third. But the businessman did not pay attention to the caustic jokes and his insecurities. Musk did everything to ensure that the fourth launch took place, which led to a contract with NASA. Tenacity and perseverance helped Elon Musk defend his ideas and goals. Hard work. Elon Musk is a real workaholic. It can work. However, we advise you to find a balance between family and career. Perhaps all you need to do is think through the tools of your working day and turn to the intricacies of time management to improve your work efficiency. Are you capable of sacrificing your family like Elon Musk did? It is known that Musk communicates with his sons in most cases only via email. But genius is an exception to human rules. Trends and fashion are not an indicator of success. Stay true to your true desires. Do not copy the behavior of other people. Talk to yourself, study yourself, engage in self-development. Elon Musk's quality brand directly depends on the breadth of his views as a professional. It is not limited to those tasks that are discussed at events. If increasing the volume of car production is on the agenda, then Musk boldly moves into areas related to him, but into those in which he is truly a pro. Once he starts talking about the production of electric cars, he will most likely turn the conversation to his other projects and engage listeners with questions. While you are young, you can take risks. The older you get, the less likely you are to stand up after failure. And it's better for those who are completely absorbed in their work. Finding the right business partner is not easy. But it's even more difficult to choose someone who will walk the business path with you if you decide to do so. Elon Musk himself once said, "I'm not in business for the evening, but my team is." I would say that if you are at the beginning of your career path, then try to invest everything in technology and professionals first. Advertising can simply ruin you at this stage if you do not have enough starting capital. high quality and effective advertising, sessions, and ready to show it to other people. Speaking of business, I think it is better to start at the bottom of the market at the peak than vice versa, says Elon Musk. A believer in himself, he also believed in other people, although his childhood was extremely difficult. Believe that you can lead others, and their energy will already help you not to doubt your success. And remember that ambition makes a very strong impression on others. Read. You can't know everything. But all these things are in the books, Musk says. He read constantly, even completely mastering the Encyclopedia Britannica. Share your successes with others. Achievements in development, sales growth, new assortment, positive reviews, talk about it on social networks, on the website in the news section, and include your positive changes in advertising texts. Elon Musk never misses an opportunity, but sometimes he does it with a bit of sarcasm. For example, when Tesla paid off government loans ahead of schedule, the company reported this with some sarcasm. Elon Musk's Iron Man business strategy has a lot to do with his childhood, including his love of comic books and superheroes who try to save the world and end up doing it. According to the director of the film Tony Stark, Musk became the prototype of Iron Man himself. More than once compared to Jobs, he is credited with the same character traits, and Musk, being a talented marketer, tries to shock the public with his behavior. And this has helped him more than once. He promotes himself as competently as he promotes his products. If we think of Tesla, we say Elon Musk. If we now hear about the planet Mars, we immediately remember the incredible associations with our product. And this is the real mastery of marketing success. Elon Musk considers his knowledge of physics to be one of the reasons for his success in business. The mathematics that entrepreneurs rely on is actually simple and primitive compared to the apparatus of physics. Any thematic laws of physics, says the American businessman, are applicable to any problem, and successful solutions can be built on the natural scientific method of thinking. For example, Elon Musk always tries to anticipate events by creating in his mind a stream of probabilities that could develop and analyze possible ways to react. Not everything always happens as planned, but Musk lays down a certain set of outcomes, some of which will always be winning. So, the more options for action, the greater the chances of success. Physics and applied engineering courses help you understand where to move next. The businessman does not tolerate the division between techies and humanists. He draws attention to the fact that the arts, languages, and history should not be neglected. But, for example, accounting, which, however, Musk himself cannot stand, is no less important for him. To the question, is Elon by profession, he always answers, rocket and automobile engineer. He believes that this type of work, when you are in related industries, helps him achieve benefits both among colleagues and among teams of employees. Elon Musk and Tesla are investing a lot in the development of their mega factory. The production of electric batteries is a priority for Musk, who believes that this type of fuel is the future. However, he takes a rather sober view of the situation, given the emergence of more than 50 competitive manufacturers of such batteries in the world. So, if an entrepreneur gives a rating of 5, then it is necessary to build joint work with such a manufacturer. If the score is 1, then you shouldn't even think about such companies. Musk admitted that we are not talking about ratings 4 and 5 at this stage. And he beats competitors on the technical side, occupying a leading position in the production of electric batteries. Musk is not afraid of competitors and advises all aspiring entrepreneurs to adhere to the same position. If your idea is unique and resonates with the audience, then others and optimizing the work. Thus, even the news about preparations for the creation of an electric car from the super corporation Apple did not upset Musk, but even inspired him. This means that the industry, which will finally replace mid-range diesel and gasoline, is expanding. Tesla's work on such a crossover is aimed at maintaining competitiveness in the upcoming future. As for the recruitment of employees of the company under the leadership of Elon Musk, they are looking for candidates who can prove their exclusivity. Musk himself does not believe in the frequency of higher education scores and never focuses on this information in his resume. You have a much better chance of getting a job at SpaceX than someone who excelled at any competitions or scientific conferences. But most of all, the entrepreneur pays attention, of course, to botanists like him. Young inventors and programmers who created their first software in adolescence are real innovators and, accordingly, like-minded people of Elon Musk. I think it's wrong to hire a lot of people to do complex work, the businessman said in an interview. Quantity will never make up for the lack of talent in finding the right answer. Two incompetent people are no better than one. Because of this, development becomes endlessly long and expensive. In 2002, when SpaceX was just getting started, Musk hired prominent engineers, including Miller, who was already developing probes for space exploration and Mars. After Miller, a whole team of developers left the organization where the leading engineer worked. But there were also main trump cards, ready-made technologies. Musk chose the right strategy, spending sums to attract the best specialists and investing money in independent testing and expensive developments. Such a cunning move, of course, played into the hands of the entrepreneur. However, the noise that the American auto company made attracted the attention of viewers on television channels. Although Musk lost the trial, the billionaire writes comments and statements in response to journalists on the social network. Elon Musk's Twitter is a whole story of glorious skirmishes between a businessman and a journalist. At the same time, such PR is obvious. But he continues to work. Firstly, Musk's followers and projects. Secondly, the public understands that a businessman is a person just like them. He's a funny guy, he's a lively person. The old rule of PR says, become just like your client, and then the client will be much more loyal. On the same networks, Musk continues the tradition of being nasty. Hints about upcoming events, announcements of new models so mysterious that readers are intrigued and wait for new posts from the businessman, start a discussion. Elon Musk's tweet works like a viral ad even if you are not interested in the topic of electric cars, space, and artificial intelligence. An internet user is intrigued in any case. Also on the Reddit website, Elon Musk personally conducts the so-called AMA. This format of communication with buyers, like-minded people, fans, and simply bored users allows anyone to ask their question and within some time receive an answer from the businessman himself. While improving questions 1 per second, all of Elon Musk's projects are united by the common idea of making humans interplanetary inhabitants. At first glance, electric cars, high-speed air roads, rockets, all this is not connected. But that's not true. For the dream of the ambitious Elon Musk to come true, all these inventions are needed simultaneously. Imagine that to survive in the new conditions, you will need powerful batteries, solar panels, and electric vehicles. And, perhaps, those same loop roads for high-speed travel. All this is reminiscent of science fiction stories. But we are sure that it is people like Elon Musk who bring the future closer because imagination is the main engine of progress. Chapter 3. Elon Musk quotes. As a samurai, I would rather die than surrender. To do complex work, I have to hire a lot of people. Quantity never compensates for talent. But two people who don't know something are better than one. One day I thought, after all, the United States of America is the capital of the entire modern world. So, this is an excellent reason to settle here. Failure. This is one outcome. If you succeed, then you are not very innovative. As long as we are throwing away rockets and ships, we are not truly exploring space. From the perspective of the future, there is a fundamental difference between humanity traveling through space, exploring the stars and civilizations, and us being forever confined to the Earth until something happens that causes extinction. As a child, I was amazed at how many different things could explode if they wanted. It's amazing that I still have all 10 fingers. We must move from reconnaissance missions to building a full-fledged city. Many people don't like change, but we must learn to accept it. Especially if the alternative to change is disaster. The only thing that should be done is to promote the general enlightenment of mankind. If we don't find an alternative to burning oil for transportation, it will run out, the economy will collapse, and society will come to an end. If we know we're inevitably going to run out of oil, why are we continuing this crazy experiment of changing the chemistry of the atmosphere and oceans by adding massive amounts of carbon dioxide that has been buried since before the Cambrian era? It's crazy. It's the dumbest experiment in history to date. Moment. I want to die on Mars. But not at the moment of landing. For the sake of humor, if it comes to that, I would like to die in the sense that humanity has a brilliant future. The fact is that the market is like a manic depressive. Perhaps my greatest mistake is relying on my talent rather than my personal heart. It seems like a lot of major newspapers these days are trying to answer one question: what's the worst thing that happened on Earth today? There is nothing truly expensive in rocket science. The only problem is that in the old days, they were engaged in rocket science. They did it with monstrously low efficiency. SpaceX wants to be a company that helps move people to other planets. Because I think that's the biggest goal that life can have. Although we should never forget about more mundane things, it is very useful to have your special sacred fire, from which it becomes long-term once something new, then this is not a mistake. I want to make possible and achievable something that can happen in our lives. In 4 billion years of Earth's history, no more than half a dozen truly important events have occurred: the emergence of single-celled organisms, multicellular organisms, the division into animal and plant kingdoms, the emergence of water onto land, the emergence of mammals, and the development of consciousness. The next big step must be the idea of planetary life, an unprecedented journey that will dramatically change and enrich us. I want to make sure we survive at least 3 times and up to 10 times in hindsight. If you want a little luck in your car life, even if there's a zombie apocalypse, you'll still be able to travel thanks to gas stations and the Tesla system. I think I devote enough time to work and children. But there is still a problem. I need to find a girlfriend. This is where you should spend a little more time. Maybe even 5 to 10 hours. How long do you need to be there? What is the minimum anyway? I don't know. I don't want to be the grandpa who can't check his email. However, I'm unlikely to start a new online business in the future. I feel like I should use my power to create things that will positively impact the future of humanity. Tesla. We use some of his inventions. This guy deserves more recognition from society. However, to be honest, I didn't always like Thomas Edison better. Because Tesla was able to bring its inventions to the mass market and make them accessible to all humanity. In this, Tesla surpassed Edison. We are used to the fact that every year we buy a better laptop than the previous one. We expect the new cars to be better than last year's. But this doesn't work in space. Reliability and cost are fundamental parameters of transport that have not improved. I have never paid people to work 80 to 100 hours a week to increase their chances of success. If other people have a 40-hour work week and you have a 100-hour work week, then even if you do the same thing, you will achieve in 4 months what will take others a whole year. Life is so short. I think that people today are somehow carried away by all sorts of internet, finance, and law. This is one of the reasons why we have little innovation. I could spend my whole life being an observer and watching innovations in the old family. But I chose something else. I decided to become a part of them. Not saying patience is a virtue, but learning to be patient. But these are difficult lessons. There is a graveyard of attempts. Large cemetery. There are probably freshly dug holes and holes just waiting to be filled. We strive to avoid this. I like to implement. This is very important for the future to bring some benefit. Our 2 planets are surprisingly close in many ways. If we warm up Mars, we will have an atmosphere and oceans like Earth's. For the first years, people will live on Mars under a dome. But over time, we can create a good company, like baking a good pie. You just need to take the right ingredients in the right proportions. I'm sure it will happen. Are you ready to bet money on it? I asked myself what influences the team's performance. The first obvious assumption was that when you were wrong, everyone else couldn't think the same way as you. Everyone else doesn't necessarily have the same information as you. Even if I communicate with my double, but tell him only half the information, I cannot expect my double to come to the same conclusion as me. One must always be pushed to behave like a cog in a large mechanism. Frankly, it keeps people who aren't very smart or creative. We have to figure out how we can get what we love without destroying the world. I even tried to buy missiles from Russia and negotiated with Russian officials, but nothing worked out. Why not create your rocket? I love computer games. I will create the coolest games. How will this affect business and the world as a whole? Right now, all of humanity, from first to last, is participating in the most dangerous experiment in history. Like carbon dioxide, we must throw away the face of destruction. We have this giant generator in the sky called the sun, and we just have to take some energy for human civilization. I want to be part of something that changes the world. Yes, people have walked on the moon, but they haven't done anything comparable since then. I didn't even expect that I could make money. It seemed to me that I could only rent and buy some food. But in the end, it turned out to have value. I'd rather play computer games, write programs, and read books than try to get a perfect score in this. This makes no sense. The prospect of lying on a beach for most of my life sounds like a nightmare to me. This is the worst thing that can happen. I would probably go crazy and start taking hard drugs. I would just die. I love it when everything spins. Sooner or later we have to go beyond our little blue ball. The multi-billionaire is accused of calculated PR. Whether you believe Musk or not is up to you. Still, the 45-year-old businessman is a source of delight for most. And not just because of his incredible business success. But even behind its sometimes desperate masks, the most important thing is that science, thanks to Musk, is becoming popular. Scientists can already compete in popularity with movie stars, musicians, and athletes. Modern superhero Elon Musk is indeed similar to his cinematic brother Iron Man, who speaks from the screen. I hope you enjoyed the book. Write in the comments what other books you would like to hear. Share with your friends and family, and, of course, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on new items. We wish you the best and hope that our books will change your life for the better.